Hello everyone and welcome to Psionic Aftermath versus Iron Chain. This is going to be a friendly clan war between, I think it is 5 M1 players. So it's going to be a really high level clan war. So I'm quite hyped to be casting this. My name is Faith and I cast quite frequently as it is at the moment for Psionic Aftermath. And of course, I'll try my best not to be too biased, but of course, these are my buddies playing for Psionic Aftermath. All right, so it looks like everyone's ready, and we're just waiting on. Um, hmm. Doesn't look like we're waiting on anyone at the moment. I don't know. Oh no, wait, yeah, back switch set. I'll wait. All right, so this entire clan war was organized by Baxter. In-game name is Backswitch, who he's been helping out a lot for Sonic Aftermath recently with some officer stuff. Great guy. He arranged a clan war against Loco last time, and this time against this clan called Iron Chain. Which I don't know much about, but apparently they're a very high level clan because first they asked for a 5 GM clan war, and we actually I don't know how many GMs we have. I think we have 5, but it's very unlikely we'll get all of them right at the same time. So um, all that. Yeah, so it ended up being a full Masters clan. But this guy, so the funny thing is, the guy playing for them is 5.4k MMR, and that's actually GM MMR, right? So, yeah, technically we are seeing GM players from both teams here, because I think Jeterix is one of the players for us who is a GM player. And of course, first player for Sonic Aftermath is going to be John. Don't be fooled by this MMR. He's an NA player, so he doesn't have that good of an MMR on EU, but he is 5k at the moment. I believe he's 5.1-ish. All right, yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting match. Looks like it's going to be TVC on Asset Plant. One of the more standard maps, of course. Asset Plant has some weird things, like there's a lot of airspace next to the main here. If you check, like right here, there's a lot of airspace for something like drops, and the main is, while not super large, it does have a lot of drop space, a decent amount. So it is a pretty good map for drops, of course. Yeah. I don't know. Not much to say otherwise about this matchup on this map. I guess there is the fourth base we can talk about. Like the fourth base is a little bit vulnerable. The PsiX fourth base primarily because like often games end right now in the TVC meta is when the Terran pushes a fourth base of a Zerg, and on this map you have this big ass, right? I hate this, but yeah, right here, you can push this fourth base by breaking down the rocks and then sieging up tanks right here. Like there are really good tank positions, like one right there, one something like in this, little valley. And then of course you're attacking up high ground, but you have high ground vision because you have, medevacs and shit, so you don't care about that as Terran. And then you get more importantly, you get really good tank positions, so it's really hard for the Zerg to reach your tanks. So we'll see if John chooses to go for something like that this game. He's considered the underdog in this match, just purely through MMR, but I don't know, I wouldn't count him out at all. He's a great player. Alright, looks like we're gonna start the game finally. No thanks to me. For those of you who didn't notice, I was really late to this. I literally showed up 5 minutes before I was supposed to start casting, because I may or may not have been somewhat sleepy on the fact that I was supposed to be on air at this time. But anyways, it all worked out. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of opening John chooses to go for. He's traditionally a bio player, as most Terrans are, of course. And he does I have seen him do a lot of 2-1-1 builds in a lot of matchups. Anyways, going into the game here, we have spawning down in the bottom right-hand side of the map. From Iron Chain, it is Splash. And in the top left side of the map, we have the Red Terran from Psionic Aftermath. It is John, also known as Goon. I never understood why people found the need to change names so often. It's really frustrating. Because I think John has he has 4 accounts and all of them are named John or Goon. So it's just he has 2 names, but they're all spread out. So it's really hard to know which one to call him or whatever. Yeah, so most people just call them both. Anyway, already something strange here from the Zerg. He goes pool first, and it's an early pool too. It's if I'm not mistaken, this was it 15 pool? It wasn't a super fast one, right? It wasn't instant pool, I don't think. Which would be a 14 pool, I guess. But it's definitely a really early one, before hatchery, before any kind of, heavy amount of drones. So we'll see what he chooses to do with this. Most people in TVC, what you do with the Lings is usually you try to avoid the Reaper, and then you try to get a cancel on the command center, right? Because you go around this way, and then you hit the SCV that's building the command center on the low ground and hope the Reaper isn't there to, force you away. Of course, there are some other things you can do. Alright, so we see 6 Lings from the Zerg here. There are some other things you can do, notably, this is one of the maps where if you want to place a reactor on this, you lift it and you place the reactor in the wall. And the reactor, of course, cannot be repaired while it's building. So it's a really, really vulnerable spot to the 6 Lings, these 6 Lings. And he's doing exactly what I thought he would, trying to sneak around the Reaper. We'll see if they... No? Yeah. Successfully sneaks around the Reaper. And this is already looking really bad for John. To be honest, at least he made a Marine. He hasn't made a reactor yet. That's good. That's obviously better than not making a Marine. But he's probably not feeling too good about seeing this. And he's gonna lose the Marine too. No. Yeah, so far a really bad start from John here. Alright, yeah, so it looks like, honestly, as it looks right now, he's probably going to get the cancel on this. I can't really, yeah, we can see the HP right there. He's pulling SCVs, which is never a good thing. He's gonna lose a couple. It's better than losing the command center. So far it's 3 SCVs and 2 Marines, it looks like, is what he lost here. Oh no, and it's a roach follow-up behind this. I didn't even see the... Yeah, I haven't been paying attention, and I'm sure John hasn't either. He pulled his Reaper back, so he didn't see the... No way he could have seen the roaches coming. He is in... Honestly, I can't really see him holding this. He's gonna definitely have to lift. Yeah, so he cancels this so he can lift and go to the high ground. He's gonna try and get a Cyclone out. And a couple of Marines. But there's already Ravagers being morphed. Like, this is not looking great for Psionic Aftermath at the moment. And our dear and beloved John. Yeah, so he's definitely gonna have to pull SCVs right now, because if he doesn't repair this wall, he just loses. He needs to... Oh no. Yeah, the wall's gonna go down. Alright, so there is a Cyclone. But 1 Cyclone against that many Ravagers. I don't know. Is the Zerg macroing behind us? Yeah, the Zerg was making drones behind us. He didn't actually... Alright, so never mind. This isn't gonna kill him, but, you know, he's pretty dead anyway. That's the thing. It was a strange choice from the Zerg. Like, he probably... If he had just kept making roaches, I think he would have just killed John here. So he almost kills him without having... Without the continually making roaches. Like, he was making drones behind us. If you look at his drone count, it's at 34. Like, he chose the macro route behind us. Which, you know, like, if John's defense had been better, maybe that would have been a, you know, better choice. But, like, as it was here, I think if he had just made, like, 6 or 7 more roaches, he would have just won. Like, the game would have ended right there. Yeah. I don't know. Not much to say now. Like, this has turned into a really weird game through some choices by the Zerg. Like, he went for really aggressive pull, then really aggressive roach push, and then into droning. So, like, the game is all weird and screwed up for the Terran. Like, all his timings are off. And he has, like, almost no SCVs. Like, he lost way too many. So he's in very big trouble. He's pretty dead, to be honest. Like, it's not sugar-coated. This is really bad. Alright, so he's gonna bring a Cyclone in for some light harassment with a medevac, you know, kind of like you do with Archon drops, but, well, a million times less effective and not as scary at all. Yeah, but you can just look at the look at the Zerg economy. Like, he's at 41 drones to the 20 of Terran, and he's on 3 bases. Has a lot of queens. He's getting upgrades. Like, John's stim just started. Like, this until this upgrade is done, there's not really a push you can do as Terran. So, I mean, it's gonna be a long game if Goon is gonna win this. Like, he's gonna have to stay alive until 4 bases somehow, which I do not think is a possibility. Like, barring some gigantic mistake from a Zerg, like, there's gonna be a big upgrade advantage and a big army advantage. Like, the army supply is just gonna skyrocket from the Zerg soon. And honestly, then it's gonna be damn near impossible for Goon to take a 3rd base. Very, like, games like this are very frustrating. I find them very frustrating as a Protoss too, because we do get this a lot. Like, the early pull is really annoying. That one isn't as scary, but it's the roach follow-up where they have, like, you know, 4 times your units, and you have to just stay alive by holding your wall up. And, like, it just throws you out into weird timings because you have to build so many extra buildings. But yeah, anyway, coming in here with a big Ling surround, trying to, yeah, probably just gonna go after the workers. And, oh, he doesn't get into the main at least, but he catches some Marines, kills a bunch of SCVs, and let's face it, John just cannot afford to take these trades. Like, it doesn't matter if he cleans up all these things, he just doesn't have anything. He's losing out on the trades, and the Lings are just, they cost nothing, and he has the Zerg has a big economy behind this, and Goon just doesn't. Like, he's on 1 base saturation right now. The Zerg is on 3, barring on 4. He almost has 4 base drone count. And he's getting Hydra upgrades and all this. Like, yeah, it's looking real bad. Miguel. Yeah, it's me, Faith, dude. I'm surprised you don't recognize my voice. I did introduce myself at the start of the cast, but not a lot of people were here then. But yes, it's me, Faith. Probably the most regular streamer right now on Psionic. Well, not the, but one of them. On Psionic Aftermath. Yeah, so I don't know. It's really hard to analyze, to talk about a game like this, because there isn't much to say than that the Zerg is going to have 2-2 when Terran has 0-0 and the game is going to end. If the game doesn't end here, it's going to end when he has 2-2, because 2-2 versus 0-0 is just, there's no way you can fight that. The Zerg is literally taking up to Hive behind this. He has an infestation pit. It's getting Hive. Honestly, rolling in here is one of the few ways that the Zerg can lose, but, you know, he's not going to lose. Like, even though that wasn't a great trade for the Zerg, it doesn't matter. Like, he can replace the units, John just can't. It's really strange to see him attack, though, before, like, he can see that John doesn't have any upgrades. Like, he should just be safe here. He should know that his 2-2 is just going to be a complete and utter, you know, slaughter. 2-2 Lings just destroy everything. Especially when the Terran has no upgrades. Yeah, but he's just piling on the damage, getting a few tanks, getting everything. And John is just pumping out 5 Marines at a time versus the 30 Lings or so that are in the production tab at a time. Like, it's just not good enough. Yeah. Alright, at least you can't fault John for wanting to, you know, stay in the game, because at least he's, you know, kinda tiring out his opponent. I don't know, maybe. This is the anyone's game at this point meme, would fit well here, but I don't know. Oh, and the wall is down. Yeah, okay. Alright, that's finally the nail in the coffin. Time to GG out, bro. No amount of fancy micro is gonna save you from that. GG. Alright, impressive first game from Iron Chain Slash. Very good game. Some crazy early aggression, of course. John was pretty much behind the entire game. Like, you can just look at the graphs and you'll know what I mean. Like, this is not a pretty game. Really rough. But, yeah, just a really good build order from the Zerg. Interesting choices. Like, not finishing him off with the... Not relying on finishing him off with the early roach push. Instead, just, like, making some roaches and dealing critical damage and then droning up behind it. Like, interesting choice. He probably could have killed him, but, you know, it's easy to say in hindsight, right? Yeah, so interesting game. John definitely doing his best to hang in there when he was monstrously behind, so yeah. Alright, I'm just gonna double check the format here, because I think it's all kill, right? It is, yeah, so it is all kill. It's 5 master players, and it's an all-kill format. That's really cool. Alright, so we're gonna see more of Splash here. Somewhat cheesy Zerg from what we've seen so far. But yeah, we'll see what he goes for next. I think the next player for Psionic Aftermath is, well, it's listed as Tom Morrell, who I don't know who that is, but yeah. But Jeterix was the one who joined the party. Interesting. Alright, they're just debating how to pick the maps at the moment, I guess. Yeah, someone wanted WCS Game Heart, I'm guessing, is what they meant. Sound Point helps out with the casting a lot. Alright, so it is going to be Jeterix next. A player that I know a lot about because he's basically been my pseudo coach, or, you know, I've been leeching off his builds recently. Very interesting player. Again, do not look at this MMR, he's an NA player. He is, I want to say he's like 5.3k at the moment, but I'd say in 2 out of 3 matchups, he's probably 6k. Like, he's really good at 2 matchups. He's really good at PvT and PvC. He's a Protoss player. And what he likes to do in PvC, because this is a PvC obviously, is this really interesting like adept timing. He does a sort of well, it's honestly it's one of the more common builds that you see out there. It's like a frigate adept. It's Stargate into frigate adept into fast third base into double robo. Is pretty much explains the entire build, and after that, you go into normal Immortal Archon charge slot with Storm. Yeah, and he's just honestly really good at it. He's a very defensive player in PvC, right? He does this one move out with adepts, and then he pretty much does Warp Prism Harass and sits back until he has like just an ungodly amount of immortals, and he pushes across the map before you get Great Aspire and kills you. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting watching how our Zerg from Iron Chain deals with that. Oh wow, I didn't get an invite. Oh no, there we go. Yeah, it's just bugged, I guess. Hmm. Yeah, all right. Catalyst is going to be the map choice. Objetrix, I mean, can we fault him for this? Like, it's just the most standard map in the game, and I think he feels pretty confident in this matchup. So, you know, why not? Why pick something that's a little weird, right? You just want to pick a safe map where you can play defensive and, normal. Hmm. Has he asked twice now if he's Protoss? He is Protoss. Yes. All right. Well, one of the only downsides to this map in PvC is that the rush distance is pretty low. So the somewhat cheesy tactics that we've seen from Splash already, at least in this CVT, are actually quite good on this map. Like fast pull, of course, it's just a strong build. Honestly, it's very hard to hold, and it takes almost no effort. And the Zerg isn't even that far behind if it doesn't work. And Roach Ravager pushes are of course really good. Same deal. Really. Oh shit. I guess we're changing map. Oh yeah, I didn't have game heart. Hmm. Huh. Yeah, I don't know what's going on right now, but seem to be working on it. Hmm. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if we get one of those Roach Ravager pushes on this map. Oh, okay. I can't click that because I'm not the party leader. Kidding me? Why is one of the players party leader? That confuses me. There we go. Nice. Alright, so it looks like we're finally... I'm just kidding. We're gonna get into this game. Of Jetrix versus Splash and a CVP on Catalyst. Oh. We're missing someone apparently. That's great. Alright, there we go. Now we can go. Alright, nice. Alright, that's fair enough, Jet. Sorry. Jet just told me not to reveal his builds on stream. That's fair enough. Alright. I'll try to keep it quiet, alright? I'll just show them during the game, alright? Man, it's hard. Like, I need to talk about something when, you know, it takes them 12 minutes to make a lobby. And I don't know shit about Splash other than he did a very cheesy game 1 against John. That's all I know. So of course I'll talk about Jetrix. Alright, well, spawning in the bottom right hand side of the map, once again for Iron Chain we have Splash. And in the top left hand side of the map we have, for Psionic Aftermath, Jetrix. I realize that most people do this fancy like panning thing with the camera, but I actually have no idea how to observe, so you won't see that from me. I literally don't know the hotkeys. I know the follow hotkey and I know how to do the bars, like these things. That's it though. So, you know, if you want pro observing, you'll have to hire an observer to do it for me. Alright, there's the score updated, and yeah, so once again it's going to be a really fast pull from Splash, and you know, I wasn't paying attention because I was being messaged about my bad observing. But yeah, it's going to be 6 lanes immediately too. I mean, honestly, Jet sees this, so this should be... It shouldn't matter, like, this should do nothing. Is the honest thing here. He's just going to start a Celet, he's going to start a Cyber Core, and then maybe another Gateway, and he'll be fine. He loses the probe, but you know, delays the links a little bit. And honestly, why this build is so good is because like Zerg is down like 3 workers. Of course, 3 workers this early it's a decent amount, right? But it's honestly not that big of an investment. That's why it's so good. Like this build it's honestly really, really nice because it forces the Protoss has to cut workers too, because otherwise they just die to this. Like, it's not like you can just continually make workers and still hold this. If you do, you take, like, you don't have the Celet, and then he gets in, you know? Alright, Nice. Yeah, so easy hold from Jeterick so far, pretty much perfect, but I mean, splashes down 2 workers. Boo-hoo. Double expanse behind this, like all Zergs. Like, this is what I mean, right? This did absolutely 0 damage. This is a perfect hold by Jeterick. And it's not bad. That's what I mean, like, it's not bad for the Zerg. It's like, okay, well, you're slightly behind. You're even on workers. You're supposed to be ahead. It's like, okay, nice. Yeah, so anyway, fast Stargate from Jet, no surprise there. Probably going to be a couple of Adepts. Going to send this Adept out for scouting, because he pretty much knows that the Zerg doesn't have speed. There is an opening that does like 14 pull and then really fast speed off it. It does 14 pull, 16 gas, but that one is like honestly quite all in, and I don't think he believes that's going to happen to him. So he feels safe sending the Adept out. Yeah, and he even sees the links now, so he knows it's not nothing like a fast speed opening. Like, this is why you send it out. You want to check. You want to see what kind of investment the Zerg is going for. So you can see a third base here. You want to see if he makes drones with this egg, that kind of stuff. See if he made more links. And he actually finished this shade. Does get 1 drone. Probably just going to get a ling afterwards. No, not that either. Alright, 1 drone. It's not the best of trades, but it's not bad. Yeah, so yeah, he's going into Oracle first. Almost everyone does. It just makes you feel safe against the openings of Zerg. Like, if there were 4 roaches walking across the map right now, about to morph into Ravagers, and a 30 Ling flood behind it, you want the Oracle, right? You don't want the Phoenix. That's why most people do it. And, in fact, he got a little bit supply blocked here, but it's not too bad. He's going to make 4-gate Adept this time. Interesting, alright. And he's making a Twilight Council, probably going to... Well, honestly, he could go for something else. He could Chrono Boost out Charge. Doesn't need to be Adepts. But considering who it is probably is Adepts. Yeah, that Clave is going to be started up now. Chasing away the Overlord with the Phoenix. We can see it on the minimap. And this Oracle got 2 kills. Not bad, not bad. And he's probably going to go into a pretty fast third base here. And where's the... Does he have Warp Gate? Yes, sorry. For a second there, when I didn't see it, you know, when I didn't see it researching and I didn't see the Warp Gates having been morphed, like I was a little bit afraid for him, but no, of course, he remembered to start Warp Gate. Yeah, so there's going to be a pretty good timing here, and he's going to drop the double Robos, as you always do, and then go for a, like, you know, an 8 or 9 Adept counter push, mostly just to scout and hopefully get some damage done. So this was not good for the Zerg players. They made a lot of lings. That's 22 lings. And he's making more. He's making 16 more. He does have a Baneling Nest and +1. So, you know, it's not the worst way to deal with Adepts, but it's certainly not the most efficient. And there is an Oracle at home. Just sell it. Like, there's not really any way he kills this Nexus here. And he's going to take a lot of damage at home. Honestly, he's in trouble, the Zerg player. It's an Oracle here, and there's going to be Adepts in his main in a second. Oh, no. Interesting choice not to finish that Shade. I guess he doesn't know where the links are. So he just choose to go for this. He knows that there's no roaches because he sees that really fast Hydrodon, right? And I mean, these Adepts are already trading so well. 10 workers killed, a bunch of links, and look at how many links he's forcing. Like, what's the worker count like? Yeah, he's up 20 workers. Oh, 10. He's building double Immortals, he has an Oracle at home. There's almost no way this link counterattack does anything. He has Force Fields, an Oracle. As long as they don't get in the main, this won't do anything. Oh, he sends out the Oracle though. That's not good. That's a mistake for sure. And he's crab walking with these Immortals, but this is pretty much an all-in from the Zerg. This needs to do sick damage. Oh no, and the banelings are gonna get on top of the sentries. Alright, so 5 workers killed. Pretty much evens out the worker count, but there's a lot of units lost here for Zerg. For Protoss too. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was. He killed 2 Immortals, like that's a big deal. Immortals are not cheap, and they're like basically Immortals are only good once you hit a critical mass, so they start, you know, just shitting on everything. But yeah, so it turns into an even game from here, interestingly enough. And Jedrix did feel forced to wall in his main because he saw that many Links and Banes, and he was like, yeah, I just want to be safe against this. Fair assessment, honestly. So this Shade, hopefully, probably just going to get a couple of drones because he's very on top of this. Got 2 drones for 4 adepts. Not the greatest of trades once again, but I mean, it's a 70 worker Protoss. Like, if you're the Protoss here, you're not feeling bad about your precision at all. He's taking a 4th base, getting a Templar Archives. Of course, Templar Archives is really late. That's the one thing we gotta fault him a little bit on. This should have been earlier. Because if there's a big Hydra push before Storm, it's gonna be really hard to hold. Like, what's the army supply looking like right now? It's probably really bad. Yeah, it's really bad. Zerg hasn't droned up to like that big 80 drone count. He's been making Hydras and Lings. Hydraling Bane. Yeah, so this attack is going to be really scary because there's not going to be Storm. And he's going to lose the Oracle too. Oh, that's so unfortunate, yeah. So this is big trouble, honestly. He's going to definitely have to morph these. If he doesn't morph these, he's going to die to this 100%. Oh no, and he lets the Links in. Alright, that might just be it, honestly. He's going to lose all his probes in his main. He just did not see this coming. He didn't see the gigantic Hydra Ling push coming. Really unfortunate. Yeah, no, 22 workers and counting. He's in this mineral line too. The robos aren't producing. He has no gateways. GG. Alright, GG. Another unfortunate game for Psionic Aftermath. I felt like Jet was in a really good position there for a while. And he definitely was. Like, he killed so many... killed a lot of workers. But then... he ran into a really big issue where, like, he got counterattacked and he wasn't ready for it. His Oracle had moved out and stuff, and he took a pretty, like, more damage than he should have. He lost his Immortals, he lost a lot of things. He didn't have his gates in time, I feel. Because I feel like he could have had a lot more units than he did. Like, his army supply was, you know, if you look at the army supply once again, it's just, like, the difference is massive here, right? You can really see where the Zerg took over the game in terms of army supply. Oh well. Interesting game. Cool to see. Well, honestly, it was pretty much a cookie cutter game from both players. He held there was the early pull, of course, and he held that. Again, he held that flawlessly, and the Zerg wasn't even behind. Like, that's the issue I have with that all in. Like, he just kind of wasn't behind, even though he held a held a 14 pull without taking any damage, and the Zerg isn't behind. That's a big deal. Having a cheese like that in the matchup, that just doesn't matter. Yeah, so far Slush has been manhandling some of the Psionic Aftermath players here. The Jet game was definitely a lot closer. I feel like he just missed out a little bit. He had late storm, late gateways, so he didn't have as much stuff as he should have. But I mean, it's a 5.5k EU player. Like that's really high. Like 5.5k on EU, that's a lot. That's really good, honestly. Hmm. Alright, so next up is going to be Ravage. Once again, a NA player, because almost all players in Psionic Aftermath, except me and some French guys, are from NA. Yeah, so we'll if I'm not mistaken, I think Ravage is a Zerg player. I'm not 100% sure. I get him mixed up with that one other GM guy that we have. It's really good. Plays in the ATL. Hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a Zerg player. Yeah, and I mean, he's gonna have to take a game here for Psionic Aftermath. It's looking grim. It's a best of 9, so we have one more life. But I mean, we don't want to go down to our last player. That would be very rough. Or to be down 3-0 is really rough. Wouldn't be a last player, but you get the point. Hmm. Yeah, so it is Ravage, the GM Zerg. I didn't get him mixed up with someone. Cool. Yeah, so this is going to be a really good CVC. Really high level stuff. This is probably the best player in the lineup for Sonic Aftermath this particular clan war. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he does against this really high level EU Zerg, rocking that. I think that's Snoot, isn't it? Yeah, that's Snoot portrait. Anyways, spawning this time in the top brain fart left hand side of the map, we have for Iron Chain Splash. Currently up 2-0. So far, dispensed of two good players from Sonic Aftermath. Anyways, and spawning down here in the bottom right-hand side of the map, we have the Zerg player from Psionic Aftermath, Ravage. Alright, so it's going to be interesting to see what Ravage does to... Oh, that's the wrong button. It's Control 2. Yeah. What Ravage does to combat the somewhat cheesy nature of this Zerg. Yeah, look at this. It's another early pull. He's early pulled in every game so far. And I think this was a 14-14, so it's going to be early speedling. Basically an all-in. This time it's an all-in. In CVC, if you 14 pull, it's kind of all-in. In CVP, it's basically just pressure that most of the time kills you or doesn't even put you behind. Yes, I'm salty about that matchup, but about that particular build in that matchup. But yeah, in CVC, this is pretty all-in. And honestly, this is looking really rough for Ravage already. He went for a really late pull with pretty much the fastest hatch you can get. At worst, this is going to cancel the hatch. At best, this will just cancel the hatch. At best for Ravage. But honestly, it's it's going to do more. If he just goes into the main with this, there's going to be a lot of trouble for Ravage. But it looks like, honestly, Splash is just choosing to expand behind this. He's not going too all in with it. He made 12 links. That's a lot. That is a lot of links, but it's not an absolutely ludicrous amount. And there's no Baneling Nest going down behind this. It's not still mining gas and stuff. Hmm. Yeah, so Ravage right here just trying to do his... Oh no, but the speed kicks in and he's gonna get surrounded here. Alright, at least he got some of them out, but he's definitely gonna lose the hatch here, like 100%. And the queen pops out, but he's probably just gonna get surrounded immediately. Didn't get it into that sweet spot either. Yeah, that's the hatch down already. Man, he's 14 pulled every single game. Proof of how good a build that is. It seems like we have some slight lag here from someone. I'm not sure who. Yeah, honestly, this is looking pretty grim for Ravage already. I mean, he's not dead by any means, but Hatchery is so much faster for Splash. He's mining gas again. He's probably going to drop down a Baneling Nest here very soon. That was a good fight for Ravage, I think. It looked like it. At least it wasn't a terrible one. He still has Lings. He's going to move across the map with a decent number of Lings here, but there's Defender's advantage. It's pretty late in the game. Like, this is a pretty obvious move from Ravage. Like, it's just like, yeah, I'm going to push you. Alright, good move moving the Lings away like this. He's pulling them away from the Banelings. Because if these Lings found the Banes and started surrounding them before they were finished, that would have been really bad, right? But he pulled them away with his free Lings. It's really good. Ooh. Alright. Mediocre connections. Yeah, and Ravage just taps out. That's rough. GG. Wow. Man, these 14 pulls, they've been doing really well. 14 pulls in a row. He's won all 3 games. Yeah, Splash has been crushing it. Alright, yeah, so this might just be a... Honestly, this is looking like an all-kill right now. We have one more game. At worst, we just have one more game, because it's a best of 9, and it's 3-0. So it's going to be one more. If we lose this one, it's the last game. And I think the player is going to be Jin or this guy called Tom Morrill, who I don't know. Jin, of course, pretty good. Very good, in fact. I think he's a Protoss player. Yeah, it'll be interesting. To see who we pull out, but I think it's going to be a Protoss player. And I do think Jet was the one who put up the biggest fight against Splash so far. And I do think he lost mostly because of not having gates in time and falling really far behind in army supply. Because his adepts definitely paid for themselves. They did a lot of damage. They did quite well. Alright, so it looks like yeah, there's Tom Morrill. It's gonna be Tom Morrill. I actually know nothing about this guy at all. I've never seen him before. I think he's an NA player. Because, I mean, he's 4.9k on EU. It's not bad. But that's closer to my MMR than it is to Splash's MMR. So it will be an uphill battle if that's his actual MMR. It'll be an uphill battle for sure. But we'll see. Maybe he's 5.6 on NA. Who knows? Alright, so once again, it's going to be, it's loser's pick, so it's going to be Psionic Aftermath picking map. Hopefully we don't get calloused again, because, truth be told, it's probably the most boring map in the map pool by far. So far we've only had the boring maps. We've had Acid Plant, and 2 on Catalyst, I believe. Those are the 3 most boring maps. Ooh, 16-bit. That's an interesting map. I love that. All right, that's a really interesting choice. Because 16-bit is, it's obviously, it has a pocket expand and it's a really big map. You know, it's not Darkness Sanctuary big, but it's a big map. Yeah, anyway, so in, I don't know what, so Tomorrow seems to be a Terran. So Terran player on this map is interesting choice. Sorry, someone's sending me a bunch of messages. I'll drop out of this. So sorry about that. Probably should find a way to mute that, but I actually don't know how. So yeah, you'll have to listen to that momentarily. But yeah, it's a really big map, and in TVC there are some really interesting tank spots, like right here that they're showing us here. Like if you place a tank here, you can actually shell the back base with siege tanks right here, and you can. It's a, like, honestly, if you get into that position as a Terran, you almost cannot lose it. Like you have to play. The Zerg has to have such a big army to deal with, to be able to clean that up. It's a really big deal. Of course, I'm talking about this location right here. You can shell the gas from here. From here, I think you can cover the ramp, so like, you know, they can't send units down here when you're dropping. It's really, really good. All right, yeah. So spawning. This time on an interesting map. Once again for our Iron Chain, their so far star player, because he's up 3-0. It is Iron Chains, of course, Splash. And spawning down here in the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have for Psionic Aftermath our potentially final player, our savior. It's Tom Morrill. Alright. So it'll be interesting, like, considering the map choice was Morrill's, we could see some really interesting strategies come out here. Like, it could be, he could have something really special planned, like maybe a super greedy opening, like, you know, imagine he goes free base before, you know, like 1 Rax free base. It's not a bad build on this map. Like well, not free base, but 3 command centers, you know, and then you go for a bunch of, then you keep adding on production and you take a 3rd base really early too, because of this back natural that you have. And we're also going to see the first game ever where Splash does not go for a 14 pool. First game so far. He actually went for a hatch first at the more exposed location, which makes sense. I mean, if you want to take a safe base, it should probably be your 3rd base most of the time. Of course, this doesn't apply to Terran and Zerg because we need to wall in, or Terran and Protoss because we need to wall in. Yeah, it's interesting. Alright, I'm gonna try and update the scoreboard because I forgot to do that last time. I think I did. There we go. Yeah, so 3-0 to Splash. Ooh, actually, I just realized it's not gonna be the last game because it's gonna be 1 more after this. Yeah, so it's best of 9, so it's 2 more games. Yeah, sorry. I've been getting that wrong the entire time. Yeah, I guess I'm not used to best of 9s because no one ever plays them. They're very, very uncommon because there's a lot of games. Like, this might be the fastest best of 9 ever, where 4 out of the 5 games or something are 14 pools, and it's a 5-0. That would be insane.
Game paused.
All right, so it looks like yeah, Tom more or less asked for a pause. Wonder what kind of issues he's having. Maybe someone's just talking to him behind him. That happens to me sometimes. It's the worst. Alright. Short pause at least.
Game resumed.
Yeah, alright, so let's talk about the build choices here. So far, nothing too out of the ordinary by anyone. It's just Hellion opening for Moral, not that fast 3cc build I was talking about. He's actually not turned this into an orbital yet. Like, an orbital command, and he's making STVs. Interesting choice. I don't want to say it's wrong, but I kind of want to say it's wrong. And then he's going for 2 factories. This tells us a lot. Like, 2 factories this early, it's pretty much a 95% chance this is going to be a mech play. Like, you don't go 2 factory before a second Rax and go bio, because you're being stupid. That doesn't really work, I don't think. At least, I am not aware of a build that does that. So we're just gonna see a lot of Hellions, a lot of siege tanks, and probably very defensive play from our Terran player. Interesting. It's a good map for mech, of course. It's because it has like 3 easy expansions, and 3 bases is when mech starts being viable. Like 2 base mech is absolute shit, pretty much. Like you can make some Cyclone Hellion pushes, but pretty much that's it. 3 base mech, that's where the good stuff starts rolling in. That's when you can hit that 12 tank count and start pushing Zergs. Alright, so this is a lot of Hellions. This could actually kill a Queen pretty reliably. Yeah, so he's gonna... Oh, no, he's actually just gonna go past into the natural, and this is gonna be a lot of drones dead, I think. Obviously go into the main even. And there's even fewer... Like, the Queens are all down here. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of dead drones. Ooh, so we're talking 4 already. 5. Good spread from the Zerg player to minimize the splash damage, but, I mean... This is already crippling damage. 9 kills. Could have been more, but 9 kills, dude. Like, 9 is a lot. Seems like his macro slipped a lot behind it because he wasn't producing SCVs or anything. His production tab was literally silent. But, 9 drones. Could, like, honestly, that should probably have been worse. With better targeting, he would have killed a lot more drones. Like, yeah, it's really, really... unfortunate and fortunate for our Zerg that he didn't get more there. I see Snoopy pointing out that Splash has GM MMR. Yeah, I checked this MMR before the first game. I think it's 5.4. It's like, it's really high. It's 5.4k. That's like mid-level GM. It's really good. But yeah. So far, so good for a Terran player. He's actually holding on. He's down in workers, of course, but he's taking his 3rd base now. Making a lot of Cyclones. So far, not a single factory with a tech lab, and he's not getting, like, really insane upgrades or anything. He's just gonna do this big Cyclone Hellion push, Hellbat push. And honestly, this looks like a lackluster defense from our Zerg. He doesn't have any... There's not enough... like armored units, just links. He cleaned out the Hellbats now, so now he's gonna get this around here, but I don't know. Man, if there were more Hellbats in that push definitely would have killed him. That was just pure lings. Pure lings versus a Hellbat Cyclone push is usually not a good thing for Zerg. Like Zerglings are good, but they don't do well against Hellbats. So, if there were like 2 more Hellbats there, I think he would have honestly just killed a bunch of Queens and been in a really good spot. But obviously that's not what happened. Instead he lost all of his Cyclones, and for some reason, alright, I guess it's down here now. I don't know why this happens sometimes. Pulls up the tabs down here. I don't know how I do this, but I do it sometimes. Anyways, the units lost quite even. And it is a meching Terran, so like, there's no roach tech from the Zerg, right? So does he know that it's a meching Terran? He should know that it's a meching Terran. Like, you see this many Cyclones and Hellions, it's not gonna be bio. So, the fact that there's no roach tech, is that a roach warren? Yeah, so there's finally gonna be roach tech, but this is very late. He's gonna be reliant on Lingbane Hydra for a long time here. Against mech, which is... It's not bad. Like, aggressively, that aggressively that losing my ability to speak. That sort of composition is not bad against mech, like not at all. Especially not Hellion Cyclone. Honestly, like Hellion Cyclone does not scale. The fact that he's still not. Alright, he's finally making tanks, but Hellbat Cyclone does not do well against. Like literally, Mass Hydras destroys that. And there are Hydras this time. Like this is. Is still a scary push from Terran. It's not a bad one. We're gonna see the Hydras come in here, and well, that's too many Cyclones, isn't it? Maybe not. Yeah. Maybe I underestimate the damage output of Hydras, like I always do. It was a good choice to pull back because there's no Lings here, so the Lings can't act. Like Circlings are obviously too fast for Cyclones to pull back from. So he would have just chased down and killed all the Cyclones anyway. But Hydras are a lot slower. Man, not having the production tab up there is really messing with my casting. Yeah, so Sergey's on 1-1 upgrades, I believe. Yeah, 1-2 actually, and he has upgrade. He has +1 for both melee and ranged, and he has +2 armor. Really good upgrades for the Zerg, but I don't know. Breaking a 3-base mech who has siege tanks with Ling Hydra, like there's not even any Banelings here. It's just Ling Hydra. It's not easy. Like tanks in this kind of position, like you're not gonna break this. To be honest, it's not gonna happen. There are swarm hosts being made now though. Like this is a really big deal. Like swarm host play, it's one of the ways you can deal with mech. It's not probably not the best one in my opinion anymore. I think the fast broodlords is better at the moment. Like faster hive into vipers into broodlords, but he's opting for the lair tech strategies here with a lot of swarm hosts and roaches. And he does have good upgrades for them. Like 2/2 locusts are really good. Like the swarm host spawn this for those of you who don't know how swarm hosts work, they spawn this unit that basically is free and shoots and kills shit really fast. It's a really high DPS unit with not bad HP, but it dies to splash damage. And it's really good against mech because it makes it you're basically sacrificing free units for killing like tanks, and tanks are really expensive. So yeah. Yeah, so here they come, the locusts, but oh, that was a really big mistake. He sent all of his locusts onto the SCV. These locusts are gonna do nothing now. And the Hydra push didn't do anything either. I don't know, honestly the Zerg seems really... He does not seem used to playing against mech play at all. Like, he seems a little flustered by this. Like, his play against Bio was excellent, but this doesn't look quite as good. This is a... Oh, I don't like this engagement for Zerg at all. Look at all the tank volleys that's going on. Oh no, yeah, Zerg army supply is plummeting. Look at the units lost now. The units lost was... He was ahead in units lost, now he lost so many Hydras. This Locust Bomb could do something though, but there's not that many Hellbats, and Hellbats is really how you deal with Locusts. But yeah, there's just not enough Swarm Hosts. I don't know. He's making mutas now. There are Vikings. There is 1-4. I feel like he's just grasping at straws, the Zerg is. Don't get me wrong though, it could work. Like mutas are a valid choice against just 1-4. Sure. Like, but they have no upgrades, and the 4 is on 2/2. Oh no. Yeah, no, I think he's got him. I think Psionic and Aftermath are gonna get their first game on the board. Maybe not here, but soon. Like, he's just trading so efficiently. As long as he can get this tanks out. Oh no, there's Lings actually. Well, I really hope he has 4s producing at home. Oh no, he's not actually making 4s though. Look at the production tab. Why are these not being made? Why is he not making 4s? There are mutas literally on your army. And Vikings sure as hell aren't gonna cut it. Well, they are if he flies into a missile turret. But yeah, no, you need 4s against this. Alright, there we go. He's finally making them. He is gonna stabilize. And it's not bad, but I don't know, I feel like he could have been so far ahead. He took such really impressive trades for a bit. And then he just kind of didn't make fours and he got muted. Which is not good. Yeah, the production tab is on the bottom for some reason. I don't know why this happens sometimes. It's happened to me before. It's only on the WCS thing. Yeah, but anyway, let's try and avoid talking about that. So here's pretty big Locust bomb once again. He's gonna go after the command center. Interesting choice. You can just lift that, but you know, still 9 SCVs go down, and this is just 3 damage. Like, this is why Locusts are so good. This is why Swarmhosts are good. And for the what are these things cost like nothing too. They're just like the Swarmhosts that spawn the Locusts. The Locusts are free, of course, but Swarmhosts, like, they are one of the cheapest, most cost-efficient units in the game. They cost like the same as they cost less than the Hydra. Like, it's ridiculous how cheap they are. So, yeah, you know, make more Swarmhost Zerg players. Like, really, I think they are really good. Anyways, back to the point. We have a mech player who's on 3 bases, which is obviously good, but he is about to go up against Broodlords, and I don't know if he knows that. He does have a decent Viking Cloud, and there are no. I do believe there are no Vipers. Vipers. The reason Broodlords are so scary is because Vipers and Corruptors just destroy Vikings. Yeah. Well, they don't. But without Vipers, Vikings actually aren't that scary. I mean, Broodlords aren't that scary. Because look at this, like the. Well, he really should fall back with his tanks, but. Like the Vikings are doing a decent job killing the Hydra, killing the Broodlords. And that was a really expensive fight for the Zerg player, once again. As long as the mech player doesn't lose these, if he just falls back, he's fine. In a good spot. And he just chooses to evacuate this so he doesn't have to deal with this constant Locust spawn, which is a valid choice for sure. But yeah, I don't know, like, is he making Vipers finally? Like, the Zerg really should be making Vipers. Like, the reason Broodlords are so good is because Corruptors with Viper support, like, you can throw the parasitic bomb on the air units of Terran, and Vikings just freaking evaporate. They just disappear. But yeah, stuff like this is why, I don't know, like, Slash does not seem used to mech play. Like, he's just bleeding units into tank fire. And he's not used to Broodlords either, because like, literally the main reason Broodlords are good is because Vipers are so good. And he's not making them, so he's just stuck on Roach Hydra Broodlord against Viking tank, which just doesn't really work. And now he's even worse, like, he's contained on 5 bases. Of course, that sounds ridiculous, right? 5 bases, but he's starting to mine out. Like, this is mining out. This is mined out. This is almost mined out. This is a good move though. Gonna get some free units. And back out. Yeah, this is a good move. But I mean, look at this mech army. The upgrades are so good. It's 3-2 mech is just so scary. And there's 12 tanks and 12 Vikings versus 6 Corruptors. Like, 6 Corruptors is not even, like, that's half the amount of stuff he has in Vikings. Interesting choice of flank position, but I don't know, man. There's so many tanks, and the Vikings are just shooting down the Broods. No, I mean, the Terran army is just, the Zerg army is just evaporating. Like, this really just comes down to experience, I feel. Like, Tom is so much more experienced in a late game TVC, I feel, because this, again, I hesitate to call him cheesy, because the only cheesy thing he did was he 14 pulled 4 games in a row, but honestly, that is pretty cheesy, isn't it? And now he's in the late game against a mech army, and he's not making Vipers at all. And that's pretty much, like, that's the reason he's losing. His army comp is better if he just has Vipers. Like, Broodlord Viper Corruptor just destroys mech. Like, no Ghost mech cannot fight versus Viper Corruptor Broodlord. Like Ghost is how you deal with Broodlords. Vikings don't work because Vipers are so good. Of course, I'm generalizing. Of course, like anyone who, if you think about it, like in a way, Vikings are the answer. But the, you need so many. Like for each corruptor, you need like 3 Vikings, because Parasitic Bomb just you're gonna have half HP on all your Vikings at all times. You'll just never get good trades. But yeah, I don't know. Like without Vipers, you cannot stop this army. This mech army becomes unbeatable. It's enough Vikings to just evaporate any air army, and ground units are not gonna fight into 16 tanks. There's no ground army that fights 16 tanks, dude. Like there literally is none. And you can't make air units when you don't have air support units to help you in the fight against the Vikings. Alright, so it looks like the Zerg is gonna make some sort of big last stand here with a lot of a big flank of Hydras, decent amount of Corruptors, but nowhere near enough, I find. Versus like, just look at how many tanks there are. These Hydras are just disappearing. Like the units lost speaks for itself. That's the Zerg army gone. And the Terran didn't lose, he lost like some of his tanks and some of his Vikings, but he still has an army. And the Zerg is running out of money. He's effectively barely mining right now. He's mining gas from one base. He has 2 gas geysers. Like 2 gas geysers is enough to make like some Hydras. It's not enough to do anything else. And the Terran is just on what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases. Of course 2 of them are mined out. Almost a third is mined out. We have 2 pretty much fresh bases. One of which is a planetary. 2 of which is a planetary. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, and Liberators are starting to be made now. Not sure how I feel about that, considering the Zerg hasn't made a single Ultralisk all game, and Ultras aren't really good against tanks anyway. So, what's the Liberator really there for? Like, I think more Vikings is just better. This is interesting though. Like, if he just killed this, he wins the game, because this is the last mining base of Zerg. It's the only mining base of Zerg. So, you know, the fact that he left that at 1 HP, like, he left this alive at 1 HP is an interesting move. I mean, it's obviously it's a mistake, right? I mean, he knows. If he knew about it, he would just kill it, but, yeah. He's not cheesy, but he 14 pulls 4 games in a row? Alright, fair enough. Maybe he is cheesy, but I don't like to judge people, you know? I'm a nice guy. I'm a Swedish guy. We don't judge people. At least not for their cheese-eating ways. Hear that, Frenchman? This is nice. Watch as if he's doing nothing. I noticed. There you go. But yeah, this is gonna be the killing push. There's no, like, even unsieged, he can fight this army. The Hydras just do nothing. He finally made, look at that. He made his first Vipers right before he lost. Alright, there it is. We finally got to see some Vipers. Alright, GG Tom Morrill. That was a great game. Great mech game. Great show of why air armies need Vipers. Zerg air armies need Vipers. GG. Makes 2 Vipers. And they spawn on top of 20 Vikings. Insta-dice. That's great. Alright. Next map is going to be Lost and Found. It'll be interesting to see what player they pull out next, because I'm gonna be a little bit honest here. When we said a Master 1 Clan War, we did not expect a 5.4k Zerg player to join, which was This guy, the guy that almost all killed us just now, was 5.4k, I believe. Splash. I'll check again because yeah, 5.4k. Splash is like mid GM level MMR. Like that's a lot better than Master 1. So we did not expect a player of that caliber to play in our M1 Clan War, but we'll see if they have some if all their players are 500 MMR above Master 1 MMR, or if it's just him. uh, Alright, so it's gonna be this guy called Fighting Frog. He is, oh my god, he's 5.6k MMR, guys. That's fucking insane, dude. That's great. uh, their main two. So far they have had two M1 players, both of which have higher MMR than most GMs. That's incredible, dude. All right, ready. All right, we'll see how Moral does against this 5.6k Protoss. uh, that's. I love how I made the joke before too. I was like, maybe the next player won't be like, you know, absurdly like 500 MMR above the uh, the M1 point, and this guy was 600 MMR above Master 1 point. Oh, it's great. It's freaking fantastic. Alright, well, let's get into this game. PvT on Lost and Found. This probably is the most standard map out of the new maps. Well, not probably, it is. It's the most standard map out of the new maps. It's a great map, in my opinion. It has its flaws, like the fact that pathing is really stupid. But I'll get into that after the introductions. Alright, so spawning down here in the bottom... I keep forgetting the name for left. Bottom left side of the map we have, for Psionic Aftermath, Tom Morrill. And spawning up here in the top right hand side of the map, we have for Iron Chain, their Protoss player, their 5.6k Protoss player, Fighting Frog. Alright, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of stuff Moral goes for here. In a PvT on this map, it's honestly, like I said, very standard map. The only issue is the pathing, because of this like big rock thing blocking the normal pathway like this. You have to, like, your units tend to split. So like if I have an army here and I shift I group it, right, and I click it like here, my army will split in half. Half of the army will go on this side, half of the army will go on this side. And that's obviously really dangerous because half your army could get, you know, caught on its own. So it's a little bit weird, but you get used to it. That's like the only weird part about this map. There's a second part, you know, the fact that you can cannon rush right here. If you wall off with a pylon here and a gateway here, you can wall in a cannon immediately, which is why cannon rush this map in PvP is like, no one plays this map in PvP because it's the cannon rush map. Otherwise, yeah, pretty normal map. So far, nothing strange from either player. Just a 19 or 20 Nexus from our Protoss and a Reaper expand from our Terran. Fast Tech Lab behind it though. That's a little bit strange. So Fast Tech Lab, this will probably be for Marauders, and it will be a concussive shell opening. Yeah, there we go, concussive shell for that slow on the Marauder attacks, so he can basically chase down like the first Stalker or Adept that shows up. It's a really good way to make sure you don't get kited by Stalkers in the early game. It makes you not have to build a bunker, because the Marauder is good enough that it could actually kill Stalkers on their own. They don't need a bunker. And yeah, you see this guy he did the shade out, but then he canceled the shade because he knew that if he sends his Adept across the map, it actually cannot get away from the thing. From the Marauder. Sorry, I'm getting messages. This time it wasn't about the updating the scoring, but it still made me think about doing it. Alright, there we go. So this is a little bit weird to me. He's pushing across with 2 Marauders. I've seen people do this, but I never understood why, because I feel like 2 Marauders can't do anything on their own. Also, this is the 3-gate build from the Protoss player. So this is a build that was made by Hero in a very recent... he did this at the GSL Super Tournament. Basically, you push with three Adepts and 3 Stalkers, and if they don't have a bunker, they die. It's literally the entire build. If you do not have a bunker, you die, and currently there isn't a bunker. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens here. Because, like, honestly, in my opinion, Moral should die to this. Oh no, wait, there's a Stargate. I'm an idiot. How did I not see this? Yeah, well, Stargate 3-gate is very different, because then it doesn't hit as fast, so there's no push. It's just an expand build. I did not see the Stargate. I thought it was late. I was like, this is really late for this build. But, I don't know. I missed the Stargate. It's my bad. Alright, so it's going to be into Twilight Forge afterwards. Very, very normal so far from the Protoss. Like, he wants to harass some and get some scouting done with an Oracle. He sees that this is a free Rax play from our Terran. Wow, I've really not been paying attention this game, sorry. Free Rax play, like, is generally pretty good against the Stargate Frigate. It's not bad for the Stargate player, but it's not, you know, it's not optimal because there's a lot of units. Like, this is honestly a very scary army. It's gonna have, it has stim. It will have combat shield soon, but not yet. And if you don't walk into like a stasis ward or something, or get force fielded off, like this army can easily cancel a 3rd base or kill it. But yeah, honestly, this is enough units. He should be fine. But the Terran will still trade pretty well. Oh, and he might catch an Immortal here, which will be good. He chooses to go for the Robo instead. Not a bad choice. Goes into the main. Yeah, alright, so this is good for the Terran. He might even get the no, didn't quite get the Oracle. He's running out of stim health though. He's gonna kill some probes. All in all, not a bad trade for the Terran, but that's a lot of army to throw away, right? Like, you gotta keep that in mind when doing plays like that. Yeah, you could kill the Robo. It's a big deal. Like, Robos are important, of course. It gives you access to Warp Prisms, which is one of the most important units in the game for Protoss. Pretty much allows you to be aggressive, and it gives you Immortals and Scouting and Observers. So it's a good pick-off for the Terran, but like, the Protoss feels so safe now. Protoss is like, yeah, I killed 30 army supply. I can just, you know, I'll just make 1,000,000 probes. I'll chrono upgrades all day. He is making more gates, but honestly, he could just take a 4th base here. Like, he could do so many things. Like, when you kill that much army for as Protoss, you just feel so safe, like always. Alright. Oracles go into the main, looking for some more damage. Standard Protoss play. There's 3 Oracles this time. This is kind of like a Classic style. Classic is doing this in the GSL right now in PvT, and he's the best PvT in the game, so very, very good build, of course. If you want to copy this, you definitely should. So making 3 Oracles allows you to one-shot SAVs, because SAVs are the only worker in the game that don't get 2-shot by Oracles. So making 3 makes sense. Because because you can burst them down that way, and it's enough to kill a lot of Marines. Like, it one-shots Marines too. So 3 Oracles can... Like, this army is honestly not big enough to fight 3 Oracles. Like, maybe they're a little bit softened up. They're half... Like, 2 of them are really low, so this army will kill the Oracles. But, honestly, like, 7 Marines, 3 Oracles at full health would just destroy this. They'll just kill all of it on their own. Like, Oracles do damage so fast. Now it's 11 Marines. Some of them are at home, of course, but... And, you know... Marines have this critical mass thing where, like, if you hit enough Marines, nothing can... Like, Oracles can't kill them. Well, if you hit enough Marines, nothing that doesn't do splash damage can kill them, because they do damage so fast. It's a really interesting unit. Oh no! Wow. He read him like a book there. Sent all the stalkers into his main. He's like, yeah, this army is too small, right? Tags it, and he's like, yeah, there's no way there isn't an army somewhere else. And he gets a free medevac filled with units. That's another 20 supply. Like, the units lost is not looking good here. Yeah, honestly, this is looking like a really rough game for a Terran player so far. Only thing that I'm a little bit surprised, well, not a little bit, I'm quite surprised about, is that the Protoss hasn't taken a 4th, and there it goes. He just goes ahead and does it as I tell him. And he's got a 2nd forge now, chrono boosting. Really good. Like, upgrades are a huge deal in this matchup because, well, the obvious unit that you make in every game against Terran is Zealots, and Zealots benefit the most from upgrades out of a lot of people, like especially armor upgrades. A light unit with 4 armor is 3 armor is ridiculous. Like, it's so good, and so much HP. How much HP do? So it's 150 HP and 3 armor is so much against Marines, dude. Like, they take a ridiculous amount of pounding and they don't die. Like, it doesn't look like it, but this many Zealots, like it doesn't look like it when they run into this kind of fireball. But if he had +2 armor right now, he would just kill him. Oh my, I don't know about those force fields. This is a weird position to fight him for the Protoss. Like, he really needs to come in from here, because the army can just sit in this awkward space, and you know, there's a lot of stalkers here though. Maybe it doesn't matter. Again, this is very classic. Classic is the only player who makes this many stalkers. Like, most Protosses stop at like 15. This guy went up to 30. That's very classic. Like, classic is a player, by the way, for those of you who don't know. It's like not... so he's playing like the Protoss player classic, who goes up to 3 Oracles, makes like 30 stalkers, and then has some Zealots to tank. It's really interesting. I honestly, I've been thinking about picking up this kind of style of PvT. It's very, very, very fun to do because you have more of a ranged army. Zealots is more swarmy. Like, the most common way is play a lot of Zealots. But he's going into Disruptors too, alright, yeah. Honestly, this is looking so rough. Like, he's on 200 supply against the Terran and doesn't have anything to deal with Disruptors. Not the best first shot, but hopefully he'll get better ones soon. And he's about to have 3-2 against what? What's the Terran upgrades here? Terran has 1-1 and Protoss is about to have 3-2. There's no 2-2 on the way. Like, this is all in from the Terran. He's gonna be down 4 upgrades in a second. It's already down like 3. Alright, good surround here from the Protoss. Get Stalkers getting some really good shots in. Really bad Disruptor control there, but it didn't matter. Like, his army is just way bigger with way better upgrades. Like, here he's only up 1 upgrade, but in a second he's gonna be up 3 upgrades. It's gonna be 3-2 against 1-1. Like, when do you ever see that? 3-2 against 1-1? Holy shit, like, Marines will do fucking negative damage. They will heal the Zealots. Sorry about the swearing. They will literally heal the Zealots here. Like, this Blink is so ballsy, but he knows it. Like, his upgrades are so much better, it doesn't matter. +3 hasn't quite kicked in yet, but he will. And yeah, that's gonna be it. That's GG. Alright, so 4-3 for Iron Chains. For Iron Chain against Psionic Aftermath. And we're gonna have to bring out our ace player here, or at least our last player. It's gonna be Jin, I believe. GG.
It was 16-bit, by the way. This was the first game on Lost and Found so far. Um, we played one game on Asset Plan, two games on Catalyst, and um, one game on 16-bit and one game on Lost and Found. Uh, of course, Catalyst gets two games because people like boring maps because they're stupid. Uh, sorry, but yeah. Anyway, interesting to see like this unit comp come back, like the Disruptor, Stalker. Of course, most of this game it was just Stalker, sell it with heavy upgrades and some oracles. But I really like this style. I think it's really fun and really it's just so interesting. Like so many stalkers and some oracles for vision, and then you go into disruptors for your splash. Like with good upgrades, this is so good because you can just kite everything. And like, because like this many stalkers actually burst things down. Like the problem stalkers have is that either they overkill because all of them shoot the same unit, or they don't kill a unit fast enough. Like one of them shoots a marine, and the marine is immediately healed to full HP by a medevac. But when they have better upgrades and there's this many of them, they burst like everything. That's why people focus fire with stalkers. Is because you wanna burst things down. You wanna be like, hey medevac, you're gone. Hey tank, you're gone. Hey another medevac, gone. That kind of shit. You know. That's what the stalker, the kind of DPS that the stalker has is made for. It's very bursty, and not very. It has like very low DPS, but the the burst damage is huge. All right, so I think the last game is going to be a PvP because I think Jin. I think it's Jin. His name is Jin, right? Yeah, Jin with two N's. Uh, is going to be in a PvP against this 5.6k Protoss. Uh, oh shit! Right, I'm supposed to invite Miguel because for some reason he's our player. Baxter had to leave because of a family emergency, so um, we're getting Miguel in to lead for our party. Oh no, Baxter's actually. You know what? There we go. All right, I gotta give Miguel lead, of course. And meanwhile, people are spamming me messages. I really need to put on streamer mode on Discord. I'm in too many chats at the same time. Like there's a lot of people who want to. I'm a very interesting guy, guys. I get a lot of messages on the internet, but uh, you know, hmm. I gotta find streamer mode so I can mute this. So I don't have to, because I bet it's really annoying to hear Discord notifications all the time for you guys. There we go, streamer mode. I love how there's four people who called. Like I said the moment I said that it was just one more game, like when they were up 3-0, there might just be one more game. Uh, people just spammed me in Discord that I was wrong. Like I don't know. No one plays best of 9, guys. Come on. Can't fault me on that. I ain't complaining though. More StarCraft. Who doesn't love more StarCraft? Yeah, it's looking grim for Psionic Aftermath so far. Yeah, it's looking grim for Psionic Aftermath. We're down 4-1 in a best of 9. Like that's not great. To be fair, last time I was in the best of 9, I turned this into a 4-4 and an ace match, but that's very rare. Like turning a 4-1 record into that's rough. Anyone have Jin in his friends list? No. Um, Man, I feel like we should. Our lead might have. I'll fault. I won't fault Baxter because he had to leave because of a personal issue, but. Uh, Trying to get in touch with him. I'm just trying to help. Just trying to help our poor Miguel here. Was told 2 minutes ago he had to lead. There we go. Jin's here. Nice. Fantastic. Those kids probably don't have the games for GM. Yeah, most likely. I think that's the only way you can be 5.6k and not be GM is by not having the games. 5.4k is M1 on EU, really? 5.4k is like mid GM on NA, dude. Like on NA, I think GM is like 5.1 or something. I don't play on NA. I have so many friends to do, so like I have to know these things. I play on EU, but I'm Masters 2 right now. I'm not actually Master 3 right now, uh, sadly, because I've been tanking recently. But um, so yeah, I don't know about what the GM limit is on NA. On EU is what I mean. But I don't know. 5.4k sounds really high for GM. I mean, I guess it makes sense. There's a lot of there's less players on EU. Um, we have a lot more better players in general. Like the top echelon, like 6k plus, there's a lot more players in EU, and 6k plus on EU is like 50 times better than 6k plus on NA. At least when it comes up to like 6k to like 6.3 is like EU 6.3k players will destroy NA 6.3k players. Like NA has a really shallow pool of really high level players, but their top like 5 is really good. Like Neeb, Scarlet, um, even Jon Snow, uh, and then did I forget someone? I probably forgot someone, but those kinds of players are are definitely able to keep up with the EU top 5, but the top 20 of EU is so much better than the top 20 of NA. So I don't know. Maybe that's why the MMR is a little weird. I wouldn't know though. Of course, Miguel. You were told 2 minutes ago that you had to be a lead. I wasn't up to speed either. Oh, Jin is a Terran player. I thought it was a Protoss. All right, well, it's going to be a PvT on Dreamcatcher. Really cool map, by the way. I love this map. Anyway, so spawning down here in the bottom right side of the map, we have for Iron Chain, Fighting Frog, 5.6k Protoss player. And spawning up here, the last hope for Psionic Aftermath, the Red Terran Jin. Alright, let's just do the score so everyone knows what's at stake here, because this is bad. Best of 9, and then I think they're 4-1. There we go. Finally learned how to do that. Anyway, so far standard openings. This is a matchup where everyone does the same thing every game. So in the early game, so not much to talk about. So let's talk about the map instead, because I love this map. I love it. Like, I used to hate it, but now I love it. The reason I love it is because, well, one, it's pretty good for Protoss. Second of all, it has like 2 or 3 attack paths. So this is one attack path, right? But if you knock down one of these rocks, both fall, and there's just, like, this entire thing is closed off. And attacking down the center is not something you want to do anyway, because you have to walk through these. Like, you can walk through here, but it's a one, like, only one unit can walk through at a time, most of the time. I think Archons can fit through as well, so like you could technically walk 2 Marines and do it, but you know, still, you get the point. Yeah, but if you close this down, then there's only 2 attack paths. There's this one that leads into your 3rd, and this one that leads into your 4th. Typically, some people take this as their 3rd. And this leads to a really interesting like push and pull game where most of the time Zerg players will like put up a really big like Ling Bane army here, and then you know some stuff up here, and then they go here, pull you over here, and attack. Like it's a really interesting dynamic of the game. Like you can attack 2 sides, like that. It's so obvious where you're gonna attack, but there's 2 of them. So like splitting your army is a lot harder for some races that aren't Zerg, right? Like splitting up your tanks is really rough, but splitting up, it's not as rough as splitting up your Archons and stuff from your support units as Protoss. So it's, you know, it's a very interesting map in my opinion. Anyway, Reaper expand from the Terran player, 20 Nexus from the Protoss into Double Adept into Stargate. This is exactly what he did last game. This is classic style, so it's a very classics style, the player classic. It's a very somewhat predictable playstyle, but it's very good. It's probably the best PvT right now. Well, he is the best PvT. He's the best player, and I think this is one of the best strategies. So it's very interesting. Looks like I think the Reaper got a kill, didn't it? No, oh, never mind. These players are too good for that. It does spot the Stargate though. This is a big deal. Seeing the Stargate is obviously like a really big deal. And he's gonna get the Adept. Trades a Marine for an Adept. That's good for the Terran player. Loses the Reaper, but I mean it saw the Stargate, so why would you care? But it is, oh my god, no, this is not gonna be the... Oh, there we go. Alright, yeah, so I was really confused there for a second. Why would you open Phoenix against Terran? I don't know. I don't know why you would open like Phoenix against Terran. It doesn't really make any sense at all. As we have a pause here from Jin. Very short one once again. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I don't know why you would open Phoenix against Terran. It doesn't really do anything. Like, Oracle is just always better. Yeah, it's going to be Oracle 3-gate, but this is interesting. So this time he went for the expand before the 3-gate. Last game he went Stargate, Freegate, Expand. This time you went Stargate, Expand, Freegate, right? It doesn't make that big of a difference. The difference is that you have less units, basically. It's your timing's a little bit later, so you have more economy but less defensive units. And honestly, this might come back to haunt him a little bit because Jin is making tanks right now, and using tanks defensively in PvT is not a thing. Like, if you're making tanks in PvT, unless you're playing mech, which, again, no one really does in PvT, like, you gotta push with tanks. Like, tanks are an aggressive unit in this matchup. You gotta put some pressure on because they don't scale. Like, once Protoss armies are big enough, they don't care about tanks, unless there's, like, 12 tanks. And if you have 12 tanks, the Protoss is gonna have carriers, so, you know, like that's how much money tanks cost. And how long it takes to produce them, more importantly. So yeah, like, if you're making tanks, like, you gotta be aggressive eventually. But, oh, wow, okay. I don't know what this is. This is a second starport. So it's gonna be a tank marine push, right? Without stim, just a lot of tanks and some Vikings. Interesting. It's a good build, especially on this map because you can siege up like here behind the shrubbery or whatever, or here. Either or both works. But I don't understand the second starport. There's no Colossi tech. He doesn't know that, of course, but there's almost never Colossi tech. It's not very common to rush to Colossi in this matchup. But yeah, anyway, Terran's gonna siege up here, or here, works too, and then send Marines in and start, you know, messing with the expanded Protoss. But I don't know what this really high Viking count is about. He's making 3 Vikings at a time. Like, I don't know what the idea behind that is. The Protoss is going to go in here, and of course Immortals are a very good unit. And he is going to clean this up. And yeah, he just dies. I mean, that's really too bad. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what the plan was there for Jin. Did he really think that a bunch of tanks and some Vikings were going to break a Protoss player that went Phoenix Oracle into into Immortal? Like, I just kind of felt like there's no scenario where that works. Anyways, cool build. I've never seen that before. And it was really cool to get to see the Protoss play from this 5.6k Protoss. His name was Fighting Frog. Yeah, Fighting Frog. Get to play. He played like the really new style of PvT that was introduced by Classic, and you know, he played it well. Like, he looked extremely strong. It was a great game. Interesting series. A little bit one-sided because I feel like our players had like 500 less MMR on average than they did, but it was a good series for sure. There's some interesting games, albeit somewhat one-sided. All right, well, that's going to be me signing off, guys. It was fun casting for you guys today. A little bit of a rush order last minute. I realized that I was casting today. You might be noticing my voice gave out a few times because I didn't have enough water with me and that kind of stuff. But anyways, I still had a great time, and I hope you did too. All right, GG's, guys, and I'll see you next time.